And we'll begin with our invocation. Let's really take this into our hearts. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for bringing us all together. As we come together, we open our hearts in gratitude for this space, this opportunity for friendship, and our connection to Spirit. And with this, we say thank you. Thank you. And with this, I'd also like to have our 3 affirmations. And if we could please stand. These are the affirmations that were given to us by Spirit at the very beginning of our board's election. And so I'm going to say a line, and you'll say it after me. They're very short. There's only 3. But joyful teamwork is our way. Joyful teamwork is our way. Listening kindly is our path. Listening kindly is our path, and we are in renewal together. And we are in renewal together. Thank you all. And what I'd like to say, just one other little thing about that as you're seated, is that this is a year of transition for our church. And it's beautiful. We are finding things that we want to shift or clear. We changed the pews. We moved the angel and the earth here with the painting of Jesus behind so that the Christ consciousness is still shining through. And we are grateful for this coming summer and a good fall ahead. And now we'll have our healing meditation, starting with the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And that's hymn number 74. Hymn number 3. Oh, yeah, they're on the card. Oh. Thank you. And now our healing meditation will be led by Jan.
Oh. Good morning. Okay. Now is the time for us to relax and to be as a family, for only then will you see that we are the same. So I'd like you to find a comfortable position. Place your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap, and your eyes closed. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Take another deep breath, as I would like to share with you the following story. And let the details sink into your mind and the lessons into your heart, that you may understand where this path is leading us. Now imagine a house that is filled with light. There is nothing in the house save a small, unimaginable, brilliant crystal in the very center that reflects and magnifies the light that streams in from every window. The room needs nothing, though there is nothing there. The light vibrates with an essence that is unseen, indescribable, and you are content to exist there in perfect joy. Take another deep breath. Continue to relax yourself. Then one day, a new thought arises. It will not do to have such an empty house. It is so calm and comfortable that there should be a place for you to sit. Many chairs are brought in and couches that fill every room. Then a thought arises. There must be a place for you to dine. For eating in the comfortable chairs will not do. And so you will buy tables and place them in the appropriate places, and more chairs to place around the tables. Then you look around and see that there is no bed for you to sleep in. And so you go out and you purchase a bed for yourself that is soft and luxurious, and other beds in case you have guests. Day after day, you fill the house with all the furnishings you desire, and the moment comes when you see that there is enough. But something else has changed. You look around the house and realize that the light that once radiated from every corner has been dimmed. So you find lamps and add more light, but no matter how many lamps you buy, it never equals the brilliance you once knew. You go and sit in your favorite chair, the one that is in the very center of the house. And as you sit, you remember the crystal. It was almost forgotten in the rush of filling the house with everything you needed to be comfortable. You look at the crystal and you can see a faint glow that you once knew, the light that once filled your days. Then a new thought came to your mind. You look around for the you that was so important, the one you bought so much furniture and decorations for. Where is this elusive being that required so much? No matter how hard you look, you cannot find the you that was so important a short time ago. Maybe there's too much furniture to find you. So one by one, the chairs are removed, and the couches, and even the tables. You go upstairs and remove the beds and the lamps and everything else that you had purchased. Finally, you look around and notice something amazing. The light has returned, and you are standing right where you started. All the furniture that blocked the light from the crystal is gone, and the whole house vibrates with life. And you vibrate as well, for you know then that you are the crystal, and the light, and the house, and that you. Affirm after me if you feel comfortable doing so. I am the light. The light is within me. The light moves throughout me. The light heals me. The light surrounds me. I am the light. Namaste.
Thank you, Jan. That was beautiful. Now we're going to read our principles together. You'll find them on the pew. And yes, look for the one with 8. And we'll read it together. We believe God is the eternal source and creator of all and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from Source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others' suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love. And now we'll turn our thoughts to prayers for our community, for our earth, for our healing bowl here. And the healing bowl is available all the time for us to place a piece of paper in or to simply place our intention in. And even now, as we sit in quiet prayer, we are grateful for this opportunity for healing. And I wonder if there are any healing requests from our community today here. Just stand and speak it, or speak it loud enough that
I would like healing for my husband, especially an increase in energy and more strength.
and his name?
Harland.
Harland. Prayers for Harland for his strength. Anybody else?
For Zane, my friend, who was very instrumental in Duluth Dylan Fest and who lost her husband. We had the funeral last Friday, which was incredible. And then for Caroline Hansen, who's a lovely person in Texas who's had some surgical issues that had to be repaired. So for those 2 people, please.
So that is for Zane, whose husband has passed and who really does a lot of the carrying of the Duluth Dylan Fest, and also for Caroline in Texas. Thank you. Anybody else? For your cousin who's, okay. For Jan's cousin, who's struggling with cardiac issues. Anybody else? I want to keep Sue Brewer in our loop. She's much better with her passage through COVID, but she's respectfully waiting to come back till she's sure she's clear of any carrying. And so let's keep her in our prayers. And I'd also like to ask us to pray for Mother Earth, for Gaia, for all the people of the earth, all of humanity, those who are so much deep suffering and so much loving energy being carried by many who have the opportunity to be at peace with ourselves and to share the love, and also for all life, the oceans, the waters, the air, the clouds, all of the growth, all of the animals. May we pray for all that, and as we take some time in silence now for a moment. Blessed be. Namaste. And now it is my privilege and delight to introduce our speaker today. And I wonder, Pam, if you could come up here with me. Let's see. I'll go on this side of you because I'm going to speak. All right. Many of you know this is Pam Losasso, a member of our Duluth community, Healing Arts, for many, many, many years.
That ages me.
Well, it brings you a lot of stature in our community. And Pam was born a very intuitive child. She already was awake to her gifts, her openness, even while she was figuring it out. And her areas of deep study are astrology, numerology, and the tarot. And she created a tool that she has here for us to look at called the Wheel of Predictability, many years ago also. And she also wrote a book about her journey and the Angels Whispered. And that came out in 2019. And
Under my pen name,
under her pen name, I'm just about to, what is your pen name now?
Sarah B. Diamond.
Sarah B. Diamond.
I like that. I like diamonds. What can I say?
Yeah, well, let's be Sarah B. Diamond.
Right.
And but her talk and her the Wheel of Predictability about timing is everything, and she realizes that we and some of us do. Some of us have been her client. The Wheel of Predictability says that we through our numbers we can tell a great deal about our life and what's coming, and she as a consultant, intuitive spiritual consultant and guide, and that's not quite the right words you use, intuitive spiritual consultant, and she's here to share with us today. So thank you. Welcome,
Thank you, Carolyn.
Pam.
All right. Well, it's nice that I recognize a lot of people there. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable. But today I would like to share with those that aren't familiar with the Wheel of Predictability. It is an intuitive tool that I developed back in 1999, which incorporates astrology, numerology, and tarot, which I use to explore the predictability of life experiences. And having kept a journal and feedback from my clients, I have been able to validate the accuracy of it. So the numbers, you all have a handout. And for those on Zoom, I do have a YouTube station called Intuitive Pam, which I do a Wheel of Predictability tutorial. So the numbers outside the wheel refer to the astrological houses of astrology, while the numbers within esoterically represent ages and life experiences as revealed by the tarot. The numbering system begins within the first house of astrology, which is the house of personality, and could continue endlessly counterclockwise around the circle if needed. Due to limited spacing, however, the Wheel of Predictability house chart only goes to number 84. But it is the numbers within a person's birth date that reveals the secrets of the wheel. And a person's date of birth provides the formula to gain insight as to one's cosmic gifts and the path of your destiny. By adding all the numbers of your birth date together reveals what is, some refer to it as your life lesson number, what you came here to learn. And I refer to it as both life lesson and destiny number. And also it can provide insight as to predestined life events and to your life's mission, what you hope to accomplish in this lifetime. So I give you the formula, and I do it differently than some other numerologists. I do not break out your day of birth. If you were born on the 10th, I keep that number whole. I do not do 1 plus 0 and then the year. So the month, that too I keep whole. So 12 would be 12 plus 10. Then only the year is broken down, like 1952. I am 70, people, so I've got a birthday coming up in June, and yeah, just in a few weeks. So new experiences lie ahead on your birth month. So, but by adding the birth month plus your day of birth, which I also refer to as your soul number, and we'll get into the soul number in just a few minutes, and then adding the year reveals the destiny number, and my destiny number happens to be 33. If you add 6 plus 10 plus 1 plus 9 plus 5 plus 2 equals 33. And if you look at this is just a cheat sheet with the 78 tarot cards, revealed that some of the interpretations. For instance, 33, according to numerology, 33 is considered a master number. Any number that is like 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, those are all considered master numbers, which means more is going to be required from the individual in order to achieve their life's lessons. And one of the interpretations of 33 is courage, to stand up for your belief systems. Also, it can be the master teacher, and that is what I strive to be, is I want to become a master teacher. I teach community ed classes on my Wheel of Predictability, on intuition, and I've been asked by students and clients to incorporate another class on numerology and tarot. So tarot, once again, provides the who, the what, and the wheel provides where the action is taking place. And also numerology tells us when. So that is when people come to me for a consultation, their birth date is the very first thing I ask for, because it tells me so much about where they are on their spiritual path. So when I hear the saying, age is just a number, that age to me is so much more than a number. It reveals so much more to me as far as the experiences they may be going through at the time and where they are on their path. So that's the first thing I do in a consultation. Then the next thing that I ask clients to do is pay attention to your birth month. That reveals a challenging, can be a challenging, or for some, an opportunity. So this year, I hope you'll start paying attention. And I journal every day. Well, I try to journal every day. And even if it's just a sentence, it reminds me, and it's a good thing I put everything on my phone, my calendar phone, because then I can go back and see if I had clients that day or what I was doing. Because to me, I get to see the pattern in my life. Every January, I go see my accountant the same time every single year. I may be one day off, but it's nice to know what my pattern is, who's crossing my path, how do I feel. and some life events are predestined. As I said, 33 is my destiny number. I got married on a 33 vibration day. I got married March 30th. If you add 3 plus 30 equals 33. So I believe my marriage was predestined. And also, my father passed away on a 33 vibration. He died on 5/28, which adds up to 33. So when people ask me, well, are your numbers, is it always negative or positive? I don't know. It all depends on how a person handles their life challenges or the people crossing their path. So also, knowing that, I pay special attention to my birth month, which is June. And if you look at the tarot number, June is the lover's card. So I've had, well, I don't want to say I've had a lot of love affairs in my life, but I've had a few. And so I've had to make choices regarding relationships. And it's funny because way back when I came to this church and I saw Reverend Hutchinson, who did readings. And I was involved in 2 relationships at the time. And he didn't see either relationship working out. He thought I'd be moving somewhere out west, which I set the wheels in motion. I believed everything he said. So I set the wheels in motion to move out west. And first I was going to move to San Francisco because I had an aunt who lived there. But things weren't working smoothly. So I looked at Denver where I had an uncle. And my job at the time would transfer me there. So I was able to get a job. All the doors just opened so smoothly. I went for a week. I found a place to live. I stayed with my uncle for a week. And everything just flowed. I got the job just going for an interview with the company. They hired me on the spot. And the girl wasn't even leaving for 2 more months, which was perfect in my time frame. So it gave me time to go back and pack my bags and move back. But then I decided once I got to Denver, I didn't want the job anymore. I wanted to try something new. So that worked. So they were happy. I mean, I was happy about trying something new. I like change. So every time I've changed jobs, I've always moved on to a different field too. So that's what my seeking guidance through psychics and things like that too. And I don't know if any of you knew Madame Helene that was in Duluth a long time ago, back in the 60s, 70s, and I would go to her for readings too. And so, and she too saw me moving. So I would call her occasionally whenever I was in Denver for guidance. And then I met my future husband, and he found out I liked going to psychics, and he asked me once we got married not to seek going to a psychic ever again because he was afraid I was gullible and I would believe everything they said, which was true, you know. At the time, I have learned over the years that they provide guidance. They don't. I do not tell my clients what to do, even though they come to me and ask me what to do. I tell them I cannot. I'll tell them what I see as far as what's inhibiting them from making decisions, or if another person is involved. Those kind of things I can relay to them, but I will not make decisions regarding relationships, especially money matters. I had a husband and wife come to me, and he said, well, that's the reason I'm coming to you. Do I make this investment or not? And I said, well, ask the lady over there. She's the wife. I don't want to make that decision for him. But yeah, sometimes people really do want you to make their decisions, which, like I said, I think I'm there for guidance, not to make decisions for people. So, but the one thing that, another thing that I think is so important, especially when using the Wheel of Predictability, is the day you were born. So I call that your soul number. And every month, it tells me where a person is using my system, the Wheel of Predictability. And even, so you would use the same formula. Anytime you want to know where an individual is, you can do it for a husband, a son, any child. If you want to know where they are on their path, all you have to do is add the numbers together of their, for this year. So I want to know, where am I using the Wheel of Predictability in 2007? So I use the 10th for every month. So I add 5 plus 10 is 15, and we're in a 7-year. If you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7, and that number is 22. So 22 in my chart lies in the 10th house of astrology, and that is the house of career. And this is, the house chart tells you where all the numbers lie. So even you can look up your age, and your age, I believe your age reveals the house that is your focus for the entire year. So, and for me, for the month, and it's funny because if you look at the numbers in the 10th house, you see the number 10, 22, 34, 70. Well, this is really an important month for me because my age is revealed here and my soul number is revealed here. So that's why I'm before you, because I know this is my path. So to be a teacher, also to have courage to stand up for what I believe in. And 70 talks, the number 70 in tarot is making career decisions. And I've been asked before to be a speaker at this church, but Carolyn was so persuasive, she already assumed I was going to be here. It would have been easier for me to say no, because it requires work to put something together. But I knew that this was my path, so I decided, and it's good practice for me. As a teacher, teaching community ed, it's like I will share my views with other people as far as what the benefits of learning, where your cycle is, where you have the potential to grow, and also just heightening your awareness to become more intuitive as far as what your tests and challenges may be, or your opportunities. So I use this, I mean, every day I know where I am on my chart. And like I said, next month, in June, I told you, I'm 70 now, next month I turn 71. Another important time for me too, because that's where my age is revealed. So, but that's where my focus is going to be for the whole year. So, and that, the 11th house deals with, it's called the House of Friends and Organizations. So it can deal with, for some, legal dealings, which I pray I don't ever have. But, and also it's just, 11 is considered a master number. So there can be tests and challenges under an 11 vibration. But only time will reveal, so I'll just keep moving through the houses and see what appears before me. And that's the one thing I like about intuition. It's always just staying present in the moment and letting things being revealed to the individual. And that is a challenge because most of us multitask and we're not present in the moment. So I do stay present in the moment, so to speak. So other than that, so number one, I hope you will pay attention to what happens during your birth month. Also, June is, like I said, that is when a special someone entered my life, and that's what started the catalyst for me to do some soul searching. It was easy when I didn't have goals because life was so simple. I just had a nice life. I had a job I loved and a husband that was really nice to me, let me buy whatever I wanted. And but then there was something, that little voice inside that drove me crazy because it's like something was missing. And I couldn't figure out what it was because I thought, okay, don't have any money worries, everything was going great, but that nagging voice. And then people start crossing my path, reminding me that, like I said, a no love crossed my path. That made me wonder, did I make the right choice, So that was the catalyst for the book and started me soul searching, going back to seeing a psychic again. That's when I broke my promise to my husband. And that psychic became my mentor, and she taught me the art of the tarot. And numerology, I grew up adding people's birth dates in my head, and I knew the esoteric meaning of numbers. But it wasn't until I took a trip to Sedona that I decided I wanted to learn more about the art of numerology. So I learned I bought my book. I went to a bookstore, an alternative bookstore that had tons of books on numerology. So I just went up to the clerk and I said, can you do a printout just on numerology books? And so she went and got she said, sure, I'll do a printout for you. And I went down the list. And I thought, okay, this is the one I want. And it was called Numerology and the Divine Triangle, which for anybody that wants to really learn about astrology, numerology, and tarot, that is the one I highly recommend because it ties all three together. And so I bought the book, but I didn't open it until 6 months later. But when I opened it and started studying, it just resonated with me. I understood the book. And from there, like I said, first I did it the opposite way. First I learned tarot, then I learned numerology. And I never dreamt that I wanted to learn astrology. But I knew there was a piece of the puzzle missing that I needed in my consultation practice. And so I sent away for my astrology chart. And boy, I tell you, it was so complicated that I just put it away for 6 months because it's like, this isn't making sense to me. And even then, it's like astrologers, Lita, you can relate, but most astrologers talk about aspects, the relationship between planets and rising sun. And for me, that wasn't my focus. I focus on the houses of astrology. And once again, all the astrology books I was reading, that wasn't the focus. So I put it out to the universe again, intuitively. I said, I got to find an astrologer that believes the way I do. I believe that the houses are the most important part of astrology. And sure enough, I go to Barnes & Noble again, not again, but I go to Barnes & Noble, and I go to the astrology section, and I pull this book out called Astrology in Modern Language, written by Richard Vaughn. And I turned to the page 25, and the first sentence that he said, the houses of astrology are the most important fundamental piece that a person should be focusing on. And I bought the book because he agreed with me, or I agreed with him. So, and that is my focus on the Wheel of Predictability. So once again, like I said, I believe that I wanted to share a couple of stories. Oh, for today. Let's look at the vibration for today. So we are in a 5. May is represented by the number 5. So if you look at the chart again, in tarot, 5 is the Hierophant card. And the intuitive interpretation of the Hierophant, it can be a preacher, a teacher, or it can also be the inner teacher. And for some, this is when they may start questioning their path or their religious upbringing. They're not following family traditions. I mean, as you become an individual, you may change your belief systems and not believe everything your parents taught you. So that's part of the Hierophant, is going within for answers. So the month of May is represented by the bull, the Taurus. Anybody born during the month of first part of May would be a Taurus. But it says the bull isn't one that goes charging. The bull just wants to lay back in the field and enjoy life and the comforts of life. And then starting now, though, we're in the month of Gemini. Geminis are the communicators of the zodiac. And I am a Gemini. And so I am communicating. So, but if you add 5, and today is 21, correct? So if you look at the number 21 in tarot, is the World card. And the world for us, it could be just interpretations are world events. How are world events affecting you today? Also, for some, they may be traveling and may be planning a major trip. And then also when you add the 7 to 5 plus 21 plus 7 equals 33, correct? 5 plus 21 is 26. And then 26 plus 7 is 33. And that's why I picked today to be the speaker, because it is my destiny number day. So everybody understand why I do things I do? So, but also another thing that I found very interesting is if you look, you use that formula, where do you think you are on your path right now? And I have found every single person that has come to me this month, they are in their soul house. If you take the day you were born and you add it to May, and then plus 7 for the year, you will be, give me your, Carol, what is your day of birth? May 27. Okay, tomorrow, well, 27, so 27, if you add 27 plus 5 is 32, plus 7 is 39, correct? If you look at your chart, your 27 and 39 all in the 3rd house. So you're in your soul house. And 27 in tarot is looking for inspiration. 39 is being more social. It says you could be faced with a proposal or a proposition of some kind. When did you start your job? Yeah, any? March 6th. Okay, back in March. Okay, March 6th would have been, you would have been under, well, we'll stick with where you are now. This is an important month, how you're communicating with other people. Pardon me?
It's very interesting how communication is taking place where I'm working. I have an impact on people without not even trying.
Okay,
Keep my mouth shut.
right. Well, and there are other vibrations in that house too that aren't being revealed on a calendar. I get to see what they are because I do all sorts of things with numbers. But then I ask people, okay, look at all the other numbers that surround you. And for some people, the higher numbers, like the 63 and 75 in that house, 63 is, for some people, they are actually having nightmares or dealing with fear factors. Not saying you are, but it's like, and that may show up in a reading. And then 75 is patience and perseverance towards goals. People can get frustrated because things aren't happening fast enough. So that's one of those things. Okay. Also, then if you're born on the 4th, the 16th, or 28th of any month, you're in the 4th house, which reveals your. Anybody born on the 4th, 16th, or the 28th? Okay. And if you look at those numbers in that house too, that reveals it's an important month for you. And also in the 4th house, there's a picture of the Queen of Swords, who may be the Gemini, the Libra, or the Aquarius female, or a counselor, or the numerologist. So that's why you're sitting here right now, I believe. So anybody else, it's just a key, I would just say who's crossing your path on your day. So it's your vibration, but it identifies where I believe you are using the Wheel of Predictability. Jean,
So,
yours
it
is
only
it?
goes to 84, and I'm 84, so when I hit 85, do
Yeah.
I go to
Yeah, the next,
1 then?
yep, you're in the 1st house. Yeah, 85. Right, yeah, you just keep adding the numbers. I mean, yeah. I just didn't want to make the wheel so big that it wouldn't fit on a piece of paper. So, okay. But that's what your day of birth reveals. So I would just be keeping, excuse me, a journaling on your star days because it's revealing something about your destiny. And I call it your star day. And that's when people say, is it a good day or a bad day? Well, for me, because I journal, I've had major things happen on my star day. For instance, on August 10th, 2007, by adding the month in question, August, 8 for August, to my soul number 10, to the year, which is a 9-year, 2007, 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 7 equals 9. That equals 27. And 27 falls in the 3rd house of astrology. And that is the house, the only place I mention brothers and sisters. Well, that's the day I get a phone call that my brother passed away unexpectedly. There is no other place in my chart that I mention brothers and sisters. So that's one example. Also on January 10th, 2019, once again, it's doing the same formula. You never change the formula. Only the year would change the experience. And I was under a 23 vibration on January 10th, 2019. And so knowing what the vibrations were that day, it added up to 23. And 23 is the King of Wands in tarot. And it can represent a man who may be in sales or dealing with contracts or agreements. Well, that day I was over in Superior. I had taken my sister over to drop her car off at a dealership to get it fixed. And then I went back to pick her up and pick her up. And so she picked up her car. She took the Bong Bridge. I was going to take the Blotnick Bridge. And I got as far as Dan's feed bin, where the railroad tracks are. All of a sudden, my car started jerking. And I thought, son of a gun, you know. I put it in low gear, and I knew it was a transmission because if you go in low gear, you still can get it to run a little bit. So I pull into Dan's feed bin, and several guys there. So I was, knowing 23 is a guy, I'm paying attention to all the men crossing my path. And so this guy, I said, can you look at my car and tell me if you can see anything? So he says, well, I think it's your transmission. I says, yeah, that's what I thought too. I said, do you think it'd be safe for me to drive across the bridge in low gear? And he said, I wouldn't do that. And I said, I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, I'm not listening. So I start pulling out of Dan's feed bin. I did not like the way my car was not moving. So then I just go over to the Hammond and park in the Hammond. I call my sister and I say, turn around and come back and get me because my car's not going anywhere. I have a regular mechanic I deal with, so All-Star Mechanics, a little plug there for them. So I called them and I said, can I just have AAA drop off my car there? And he said, we can't put another car in our lot. It is jam-packed. And so then I said, oh, okay, well, let me talk to Brandon, who owns Duluth Motorsports. Right, they're all in the same building. And so I asked Brandon, I said, I'm having problems with my car. He says, well, if you can get it to me, I'll have another car that you can look at. I said, okay. So he says, well, check the oil. I mean, this is what my mechanic says. Check the oil. I don't know how to check oil. So there's, right then, a guy walks past my car, and I went, holy cow. So I asked the guy, excuse me, can you check my oil for me? He said, okay. So I opened it, and he goes, lady, you have no oil in your car. I know, it's like, okay. So then I talked to my mechanic, says, can you get some oil in your car? And there was a gas station right on the corner. So sure enough, I was able to drive over there. Then another guy walks by my car, just as I pull up, and I said, excuse me, can you put oil in my car? He says, sure, I'll put oil in your car. So I get the oil in the car. I zoom over the bridge, 40 miles an hour over the bridge, you know. And I wasn't going to stop for anybody or anything because I was so afraid once I did, the car wouldn't go anywhere. So I was able to get up to the auto shop, and the guy was waiting for me. And honest to God, he looked just like the guy on my tarot card. The tarot card is somebody with sandy, reddish hair and looks Irish. And my car salesman, Sean, Irish name. And honest to God, I had no intentions of signing any contracts that day or dealing with the salesman. But the universe had other plans for me that day. So it's like, okay, I took the car for a ride, and I bought the car that day, and it's like, oh, son of a gun, you know. But sometimes you just go with the flow, but fortunately, it worked out that I was able to get there. So that's just another story of my star day. Not always good, but it's not always bad either. So, and once again, like I said, today's date adds up to 33. That's why I'm here today, my destiny number. So I'm taking advantage of that too. But what I would like to stress is by journaling your experiences and heightening your awareness during your key time frames, such as your birth month and calendar day of birth, you may discover something significant about the path of your destiny. So, and if I can be of any help, please feel free to call me. So I appreciate this opportunity to talk to you today. And also I would like, also in my consultations, the one thing I always close with is an angel card. So I asked today, what should the message be? So this is the message I got for us today. And it happens to be my favorite card in my angel deck, and it's faith. How appropriate. Faith is believing in something even when common sense tells you not to. When you choose this card, you know it is time to put your logical mind aside and trust your instincts. Trust your gut feeling. Faith lives in your heart, not in your mind. Believe in yourself and know there is more to life than what meets the eye. Take a quantum leap in faith. Stretch your imagination. Go for it. The odds are in your favor and you are supported on many levels. Concentrate on really knowing from within. Don't let doubt bring you down. When faith is strong, there is no room for doubt. Let go of the control you mistakenly think you have over the universe. When a leap of faith is needed, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen? Often the answer is a lot less intimidating than you may think. Often when this card is drawn, it is time to let go of old belief systems, old patterns, old habits, and take a blind leap into the void. Trust that the right outcome will occur. And that's our angel message for today. But I also would like to close with a song that I came across that I really like the words to, and it's When You Believe in Miracles. So this is how we're going to close today. There, I gotta turn my phone back on. I like having these little tiny boom boxes. And this version is by a father and daughter. Okay, here we go.
Have you heard of... These are the only orthopedic sneakers that women actually want to wear. Because sure, orthopedic sneakers are...
Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could.
There can be miracles when you believe.
When you believe,
Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill.
it's hard to kill.
Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you believe.
In this time of fear, when prayers so
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Why did that go out?
proves in vain, hope seems like a summer bird too swiftly flown away. Yet now I'm standing here,
My heart's so full I can't explain.
seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's all
Thank you, Pam. Makes me just want to know more. I really appreciate you being here, and the music was beautiful. So it's a good song. And now we're going to have our offering, and we would like to have somebody or two come up to the front. Thank you. And Mother, Father, God, thank you for these offerings, these gifts to our work, and our joy here in our church. We appreciate everyone here and all the blessings that we have. Thank you, God. Amen. Now I give you, be listening. Thank you. And now we're going to gather for our final circle and our song and our benediction. And so before you stand, I offer a benediction for our day. Dear Creator, dear Source, for all that we are, as light, as love, as humanity growing, we are grateful. And we thank you. We thank all of us, and we thank the divine for the opportunity to gather today, to learn, to grow, to have community. Blessed be. Amen. Now let's gather in this